Hey guys, so today in GM Tools we're going to talk about Webpack2. So I'm on webpack.js.org. This talks about what features does Webpack2 offer to us. So just a brief introduction about Webpack. So Webpack is nothing but it is a application bundler or application loader you can call it, which is very helpful in front end development while it comes to managing the assets which we have, which we use in our websites. Like there might be a JS file, there might be SAS files, there might be CSS files or images. So it is a very painful job to link all of these into the HTMLs which we have in our application, and it is a somewhat a painful job. So here comes the application loaders into rescue, and Webpack is one of them. So you can see if you have written module-based code wherein there is interdependency between a lot of JS files or images or SAS files. These are nothing but the module dependencies. It'll just Webpack will take all of these as an input and give output as an static assets. Like it'll just convert segregate it into JS files or CS files, JPEG files or PNG files. So it is not really necessary to include all of these into your HTML. Rather than that, you can just include this one particular file and you're good to go. Like just to give you a small example, if you say that your application start from app.js and it is having some dependency on some other module called bar.js, it is really not important for you to just include app.js and bar.js both into single HTML. Rather than that, you can just tell Webpack, okay, app.js is my entry and my output should be into bundle.js. So I'll just go ahead and include bundle.js into my HTML rather than including both of these. And bundle.js would be comprising of app.js and bar.js, and Webpack would be handling all the dependencies resolution between app.js and bar.js. So just to go ahead and give you an example, like for example Twitter, like Twitter is using an application bundler and it is using Webpack. So this is nothing but the source of the application, and if you can see there are some of the JS bundlers which are used over here. You can see over here. So if I just go ahead, and I see this particular JS file, you can see it is created by nothing but Webpack. The same goes with this particular JS file. If you can just see, if it gets loaded, it is created by Webpack. So this is used by Webpack itself. There are a lot of websites which really use Webpack and they also contribute towards Webpack. So if you can go ahead and you can see there are somewhat sponsors like Segment, Trivago, AG Grid, Capital One. So AG Grid is nothing but official partner of Webpack. It is given in their documentation link, which we can see a bit later. There's some silver sponsors and there are a lot of backers. There are a lot of developers which are really working on this to keep this particular stable and also contributing towards it. So in documentation go, you can see it is given it is a proud partner with Webpack. So this is all with all the introduction and what how much stable this particular platform is. Moving ahead, we can just go with creating some basic installation of Webpack and also creating a basic config file of Webpack, which would help us to understand the rest of the concept of the Webpack in detail. So I'm going to use VS Code over here. The reason being I'm quite familiar to it, and at the same time it is uh, free of cost. At the same time, there are a lot of IDs which is there in the market, like Sublime is there, or WebStorm is there, this Atom is there. So it is completely your wish which IDs to use. So I'm going to continue with VS Code. So right now, going ahead, we are we are going to you know we are going to go ahead with nothing but uh, Webpack. So just give me a minute, guys. Just okay. Cool. So okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go into the terminal which is over here, and I'm going to just say, like, you know, I've just opened my terminal over here. It is not really necessary to open, or people who are using Windows, they can use their CMD, or they can use git bash. That's not a problem. So over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a brand new from scratch using a node project. So just to start with, you have to have nothing but node installed into your systems. So if you can just go ahead and just hit node version. If at all your system is prompting you some version, that means node is installed into it, or else you have to go ahead and install node. For node, you have to just hit into Google. There's nodejs.org, which will help you to continue with the installation. For now, for me, I'm using a node, so there should be not a problem for me, so I'll move ahead with it. Okay, so first thing which I have to do is I have to set up a node project. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just say, npm, just move ahead, and there's a package name over here. It's going to ask a lot of questions. Just it's fine, and just okay, you just put on enter, and it'll just create a package.json for you. This is nothing but a package.json for any of the node app. So I'll just clear this stuff out, which would be helpful, and at the same time I'll just make this a bit more readable. So if you can see, this is nothing but a Webpack2 project which is there, and this is a package.json which is having your name, version, description, scripts, etc. So there's one. This is our first step. Moving ahead, what we have to do is we have to just install Webpack into your application. So what we can do is we can just say npm, install Webpack, but you have to save it into your dev dependency. So what you have to do is, it is nothing but save dev like this, hyphen sev hyphen dev. So it'll just install Webpack for you guys. Just give it some time. So it'll start downloading the Webpack, and it'll create a dev dependency for package.json. Moving ahead, it will also create a one more folder called node module. So that would be the place wherein all your dependencies goes. So if you can see, there is a node module folder created. If you just open it, there would be a lot of folders, right? So I'll explain you how does it comes into picture and what magic is done over here. If you can just go over here, there's a Webpack folder, and inside which it is again having, it is nothing but a node project, and your Webpack JSON, right? If you just go over here, if you see your Webpack.json, you can see there are a lot of dependencies. So these are nothing but the rest of the dependencies which is taken care of and is installed for Webpack to run, right? So, but this is a place wherein I don't think so a browser or a developer is really intended to work into. So that is something which we have to leave it apart. So there's nothing but again a package.json. If you can see over here, there's a dev dependencies property which is there into package.json, which is created just now, and it has a dependency of Webpack version 3.8.1. I'll just again clear the stuff out. So moving ahead, you might also want to install Webpack globally. For that, what you have to just do is you have to just say npm hyphen G. So G stands for global, I Webpack. So so this will install Webpack globally onto your machine. So I have it already into my machine, so it'll take a bit of a less time for me. But for the people who are having it doesn't have Webpack globally installed, it'll take a bit of a while for you guys to install. So it is installed for me. So Webpack is globally accessible for me now. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create two more folders over here. So I'm just going to create something called src, and again I'm going to create something called dist. So under my src, again I'm going to create a file, and my file is nothing but going to be app.js, and my app.js is going to have something called console.log, and I'm going to say nothing but Webpack So this is the application structure which I am having as of now. And then what I'm going to do is, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say over here, Webpack. This is going to be my entry point, so space, and here I'm going to take the path of the application which I really want to bundle. So I want to bundle my app.js. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say I'm going to give the relative part for app.js. So this is going to be app.js. Oh, I'm really sorry. It's going to be inside src. So in my current directory, go to src and then go to app.js, and then you bundle it into nothing but a dist, and then something called app.ubundle.js. Oh, so again it is a spelling mistake over here, so I'll just correct it. So you can see there's nothing inside dist, right? But after, let's see what happens when we run this command. So in short, what I'm trying to tell Webpack is, this is nothing but the file. You have to bundle everything inside this file into this particular distribution folder, dist folder, and create a file called app.bundle.js. So once I just hit enter, it do something of math over here, something run behind it, and you can see, okay, there is a distribution file now, app.bundle.js, and if I just open this, I'll be having something called Webpack into it. So if you can see, oh, sorry, so you can see there's whatever I've written into my source app.js, it is there coming inside my bundle.js as well. So this is how you're going to tell Webpack, okay, go ahead and bundle my particular file. So again, so now if I just use this particular command and I say it like, so this is like -p, so this is nothing but I'm telling Webpack to run this particular bundle into a production mode. So what is production mode? Well, the production mode would just go ahead and minify this particular app bundle so that it is not readable on the website. So if anybody goes and just see the source, so if I just do it over here, okay, so you can see now what is happening. So it is just minified, it has just minified everything, but at the same time I have my console.log in place. So this is nothing but what is the meaning of production. So if you don't give anything, it takes a dev mode. If you can just specify that you have to run this into dev mode, you have to give -d. If you just again run this particular command, you can see that the bundle is changed again into somewhat readable format. So this is nothing but the devs can use while developing their application, but while deploying it into the cloud or anywhere on their website, they have to run this particular command into production mode, because that is somehow the way for the front-end developers to protect their code from malicious attack. uh, Moving ahead, what we're really going to do over here is we can also watch the changes. We can also ask Webpack to watch the changes. So for example, if I just go into dev mode only, and I can tell the Webpack to watch the changes. So now I'm running this particular bundle into a dev mode, and I'm asking it to watch, Webpack to watch. So if I just enter this particular you know command, so now I'm going to save Webpack to ngm tools. And once I save this particular app.js, the Webpack is watching what all things are changing into the particular application. So once I save it, you can see there's something happening over here. Again, the process of bundling is kicked off. You really didn't have to go into terminal and run this particular command. If I just go, if I just go and copy these things into here, you you can see, okay, this is taken care of. If I again go and change this particular thing somehow, just just a second, guys.